Today is Monday, February 20th. What to know about America's latest warnings for China and Russia, including what's considered the strongest accusation yet. Also, on this President's Day, well wishes for an American president going into end-of-life care. Plus, how some classic books are getting revised for modern times. A major change coming to Instagram and Facebook. And 3 big sporting events over the weekend, including a couple that made history. Those stories and more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. For the first time since the U.S. shot down a Chinese balloon, America's top diplomat met with his Chinese counterpart. And the balloon was just one source of tension they talked about. The U.S. government says it's certain it was a spy balloon. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken apparently made it clear that it was irresponsible for China to send it to the U.S. and that it cannot happen again. But Chinese diplomat Wang Yi called the American response to the incident absurd and hysterical, denying that it was being used for spying. And he said it's time for the U.S. to move past it. Separately, Blinken says he warned Wang against helping Russia with its invasion in Ukraine. China says it's advocating for peace talks as a way to end the war, but the Secretary of State says there's evidence China is at least thinking about giving Russia military support like weapons. It's not clear if China will actually heed America's warnings, but both the U.S. and China are saying they want to keep the dialogue open. And President Biden is expected to have a call with the Chinese leader soon. Nearly a year into the war in Ukraine, and the U.S. now says it's formally determined that Russia has committed crimes against humanity. That's the strongest accusation yet from the U.S. It means Russia is committing the most egregious crimes against Ukrainian civilians and that they're not random or spontaneous. The declaration doesn't actually trigger any specific consequences, but it could give the International Criminal Court evidence to try to prosecute the crimes. Vice President Harris says everyone who's responsible will be held accountable. Overall, the U.S. government has documented more than 30,000 war crimes incidents since the invasion first started last February. But in response to the official declaration, Russia's ambassador to the U.S. said the American government is just demonizing Russia to justify its own actions in Ukraine. As you know, the U.S. and allies have given Ukraine increasingly sophisticated weapons, including modern battle tanks. The U.S. has also trained Ukrainian investigators to get to the bottom of Russia's war crimes, imposed sanctions, blocked visas, and more. Today, President Biden is scheduled to visit Ukraine's neighbor, Poland, to mark 1 year since the invasion started. He's expected to highlight the resilience of the Ukrainian people and promise ongoing support for Ukraine. The longest-living president in U.S. history, Jimmy Carter, is now spending his final days at his home in Georgia with family. The Carter Center released a statement saying he decided to receive hospice care instead of more medical treatment after several short hospital stays. Hospice is meant for terminally ill patients and is designed to provide comfort near the end of life. The former president is 98 years old. The center didn't say what conditions led to this, but the 39th president has survived several health incidents in recent years, including a brain cancer diagnosis and a serious fall. Carter served 1 term as president and later became known for his philanthropic work, which even earned him a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. The Carter family expressed gratitude for the concern shown by his many admirers. Celebrities and politicians alike, including President Biden, are sending their support, love, and tributes on social media. Unfortunately, Americans are reeling from more mass shootings that happened over the weekend. One happened in Memphis. 11 people were shot around a nightclub early yesterday morning, and at least one of them has died. Police put out pictures of persons of interest, but as of this morning, no one has been arrested. Separately, 6 people were killed in a shooting rampage in Mississippi. A couple of them did have a history with the suspect, but authorities say the others seem to be random. The accused gunman was arrested, and police are now trying to figure out what might have motivated him. Millions of Americans are gearing up for another massive winter storm that's moving coast to coast. It's starting in the Northwest tonight, where it's expected to bring heavy snow to the mountains of Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. Some places could get up to 2 feet of snow. Then by the middle of the week, it's expected to get even stronger. The northern plains and upper Midwest could be in for blizzards, while the South will get heavy rain and thunderstorms. Eventually, the storm system will make its way to the Northeast as well, but it's expected to calm down a little bit by then. So once again, East Coast cities like Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia are likely not going to be seeing very much snow. That said, we still have a few days before the storm moves east, so things could change. Stay tuned. More news is coming up, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Stitch Fix. Believe it or not, spring is around the corner, and Stitch Fix will help you be ready. They have a range of spring-forward clothes, trends, and patterns to help refresh your wardrobe. And you can do it all with the help of a personal stylist. Yep, Stitch Fix will curate the perfect pieces for your unique style and fit. All you have to do is answer a few questions about where you typically like to shop, what you like to wear, and your price range. Then you can try your pieces at home before you buy, keep what you love, and just send the rest back. Free shipping, returns, and exchanges always. And no subscription required. I've gotten some of my favorite pieces, from tops to shoes, from Stitch Fix. And I've been wearing my favorite outfit lately, which includes a cute tank, comfortable trendy boots, and a neutral color purse. And I got all of them from Stitch Fix. Plus, right now, Stitch Fix is offering my listeners $20 off their first fix at stitchfix.com/newsworthy. That's stitchfix.com/newsworthy for $20 off today. stitchfix.com/newsworthy. Today is the day to recognize all 45 of America's commanders-in-chief and take advantage of some sales, and if you're lucky, a 3-day weekend. It's President's Day. Officially, the holiday is known as Washington's birthday, and it usually falls around our first president's date of birth, which was February 22nd. Since it's a federal holiday, the U.S. Postal Service will not be delivering mail, and most banks, government offices, and courts will be closed. But most stores and restaurants will be open today, and many are offering special President's Day deals on everything from appliances to mattresses to clothes, electronics, cars, and more. A new federal health report found America's youngest kids aren't eating enough greens and are getting too much sugar. The CDC says half of American children 5 years old and younger don't eat a single vegetable daily, and 1/3 don't eat a single fruit. But more than half drink sugary drinks at least once a week. This is all based on a survey the CDC did with the parents of 18,000 young children. And it reflects a big change in recent years, since a CDC survey from 2015 to 2018 found more than 90% of kids ate vegetables on a given day. The CDC points out that young kids need specific nutrients to support growth and development, and that fruits and veggies really go a long way to help give them those nutrients. So the author of the study recommends that parents keep trying to expose young kids to a wide variety of produce. She says it can take up to 10 times for a child to try a new food before they learn to like it. You may notice some changes in the new editions of Roald Dahl's classic children's books. They've been edited to remove certain words seen as offensive or insensitive in modern times. In case you're not familiar, Roald Dahl is the author behind Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Fantastic Mr. Fox, James and the Giant Peach, and many more. And now the new versions have some updated language. For example, they no longer describe characters as fat, crazy, ugly, or black. And there are more gender-neutral terms, so instead of mothers and fathers, the books now say parents. And instead of boys and girls, they say children. The book's publisher wrote a statement that says words matter and explained that it just wants to make sure the books can continue to be enjoyed by everyone, even today. But some readers, organizations, and other authors criticize the publisher and the Dahl estate for making any changes. Some are calling it absurd censorship. Of course, this is not the first time children's literature has been edited or pulled. Remember, back in 2021, 6 Dr. Seuss books were shelved for good because of images seen as racist or insensitive. It seems Meta is taking a page from Twitter's book by launching a new paid subscription service. For $12 a month, users will get a verified blue badge on Facebook or Instagram, just like Twitter's blue checkmark, as long as they also verify their identity with an ID. Plus, subscribers will get direct access to customer support and more protection against accounts claiming to be you. It's going out in Australia and New Zealand now, and it will expand to the US in the next few weeks. Of course, this comes after Twitter's push to charge users $8 a month for its Twitter Blue service. That will give subscribers a blue checkmark. And now Twitter says it's making another change by taking away two-factor authentication for anyone who does not pay for Twitter Blue. It's just a way to help keep accounts secure before you can log in. That change is set to go into effect next month. Though CEO Elon Musk says if you don't want to pay for it, you can also find free authentication apps out there, just not through Twitter. It was a busy weekend for sports fans. For starters, there was the Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament. There, Tiger Woods was playing in his first official PGA Tour event in more than 7 months. But he had a disappointing finish, tying for 45th place. Woods acknowledged that he's still in recovery after a car crash 2 years ago. Jon Rahm walked away the winner for the third time so far this year. From this tournament alone, Rahm is taking home $3.6 million. Then there was the biggest and most prestigious race on NASCAR's calendar. It was the 65th annual Daytona 500. And this year, the winner was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He won in double overtime, which pushed the race to a record 212 laps, making it 530 miles. This was also the first Daytona 500 winning team co-owned by a black man and woman. And lastly, some of the best basketball players in the world came out for this year's NBA All-Star Weekend, which ended with the big game last night. It was Team LeBron versus Team Giannis, since LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo were picked as team captains. Team Giannis ended up winning it 184-175, largely thanks to the game's MVP, Jason Tatum, who scored 55 points, the most ever in an All-Star game. That's it for the main news, so now it's time for Money Monday, when we talk about one interesting money-related news story. But first, a message from our sponsor, Indeed. If you're a business owner that likes to get the news highlights quickly, then you'll probably love Indeed because it helps give you what you need to know fast. With Indeed Instant Match, you can instantly receive a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. So if you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. So don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. I always appreciate a platform that lets you get more done in less time. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/newsworthy to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/newsworthy. Indeed.com/newsworthy. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Now back to Money Monday. Babysitting rates are on the rise. At least that's according to a new survey from the platform Urban Sitter. It says last year's national average babysitting rate was about $23 an hour for one child and more than $25 an hour for two. That's more than 20% higher than just a couple of years ago. It's worth noting, Urban Sitter's pay rates are on the high side as compared with the suggested rates on Care.com and Sitter City, but those are on the upswing too. One reason costs are going up is because there's a shortage of babysitters and other childcare workers. So some parents are willing to pay more, and some are seeking out other options. Axios says au pairs are back in demand as people seek out live-in help, and share cares are also more popular with families teaming up to hire a communal sitter. Another option is finding a job that gives employees childcare support. All right, thank you so much for listening today. We'll be back with much more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.